Hey guys, it's Richard, and so for this oral presentation, I'll be covering my lab report. For this report, I studied the direct correlation between sports participation and academic performance. And I wanted to do this topic because I find it very interesting because I myself am a student athlete and I haven't seen this topic widely covered at all. And I wanted to dig deeper and do my own experiment and do more research to figure out what the correlation is. So for each study that I found, there was a positive direct correlation between the two. And so from my research, I did a survey. And before I get into that, you would think that there would be a negative correlation between sports and academics because of how much time is consumed in an athlete's life with their sports, their practices, their games, watching film, doing things together with the team. You would think that that'd be very stressful and that they'd be very bogged down with time and that their grades would begin to slip and that the classwork would begin to go and that their grades would begin to reflect poorly. But that is not the case at all of what I found. And for my research, I conducted a survey on SurveyMonkey and I posted it on 3 social media handles of mine, which are Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And I asked 12 questions, but for my results, I only used about 4 of the questions that directly relate to my results. And so, like I said, I asked 12 questions, and the 4 questions that I used that directly relate to my results are: what's your GPA? Do you plan to graduate? Are your teachers more lenient than your fellow classmates that are non-student athletes? And do you have an advantage? And so my results reflected that 72.5% of the student athletes have a GPA of 3.6 or higher, that 92.5% of them said they don't feel like teachers are more lenient, and 100% of them said that they would like to graduate, and 63.29% of them said that they do not feel like they have an advantage over their fellow classmates that are non-student athletes. So for the majority of these results, it shows that they have the same treatment as non-student athletes, that their teachers aren't more lenient, that they still restrict with classwork and turning things in on time as they are with their non-student athlete classmates, and that they don't have more an advantage, and that they all plan to graduate, and that all their GPAs are pretty high. Like if 3.6 and high can get you into very well universities from my own experience of research in college. But I do have a gap in my research. The gap that I have is that I didn't make a survey for non-student athletes. I think that would have given me better results for both ends of the spectrum. But as far as my own results, I feel like it shows that there's a direct correlation between them that is positive, because like I said, they don't feel like they have more of an advantage, and that their teachers aren't more lenient, and that they all plan to graduate, and that their GPA is maintained at a pretty high standard. So yes, that is my project, and I hope that you enjoyed it.